Well, the schools were closed in 1959, padlocks on the gate, and at that time, President Kennedy decided that something has to be done about Prince Edward County with the schools being closed. So his brother was in the Justice Department, Robert Kennedy, and he had gave him the assignment to do something to come down and get the schools opened. So they decided to call it the Prince Edward Free Schools, and it was also called the Prince Edward Free School Association. Um, so he sent a fellow by the name of Mr. Vanderhoover to come down and negotiate opening the schools, so that the children who were in the lost generation for 4 years would be able to go back to school. Well, I was called by Mr. Doswell, and they were all working over at the school there. And he called and asked me because I was home at the time. I had taught previously 2 years in the Petersburg City Schools. And at that time, I came home because I had a child. My daughter was born, and I was subbing in the adjoining county, Appomattox, and I was really ready for a job. And that's how I started teaching in the free schools. It was the same building that we had had previously before the schools were closed. So it was just a plain classroom with desk and nothing else. The rooms had to be decorated. Of course, we stayed after school, and when we were assigned a classroom, we all stayed and worked on them and tried to beautify them and of course, put material on the board. We had blackboards at the time, and we had to write most of our notes on the blackboard for students to copy. It was a nice building, and just regular, with regular desk and chairs. Well, yeah, every day was very exciting because the teachers were all on one accord. The teachers were from all over the country, but everybody had one common goal, and that was to be there for the children and to teach them. And we bonded so beautifully that year. It was just a very different year from any other year anybody could have had. Of course, we worked with the students. They were well behaved and eager to learn because many of them had been out of school for the whole time. Some of them came back at the age of 10 years old and they were in first grade. For some, it was very embarrassing. And there were a few, of course, who didn't come back at all because they were ashamed. No, nothing bothered me. Of course, I lived 18 miles away. I lived right at the Appomattox border, and it was no problem. I think Dr. Sullivan was the only one who got most of the threats because they didn't want that Yankee came down here. He was a nigger lover, they called, and they did so many other things to him, but not to the teachers, not that I know of. None of us. I only went on one field trip with them. I went to UNC. That was very, very interesting. I think I went with the juniors and seniors that year. I think her name was Jane Ferris. She was from the American Friends Society. People came from all walks of life to help us. So I was one of the chaperones on that field trip. And I had a brother too who came back. He had been away from for a year, and he came back and he went on that field trip. I also taught my brother French and English. My youngest brother. We went to the planetarium. and we visited some of the classrooms to see how the students were taught. Well, usually Dr. Sullivan would make announcements on the PA system when anything exciting happened. And of course, some of our students went. Grace Poindexter, Roger Madison, John Branch, and Skippy Griffin went to that. So we were very, very excited, ecstatic when we heard that announcement. Because he came on later in the year, had come on earlier in the year when Dr. Yorlin asked that question when President Kennedy was shot. He made that announcement, and that's a silence just went through the whole building. And he just said, President Kennedy has been shot. And he didn't, of course, he didn't die immediately, or we didn't know that he did. So he would make announcements, important announcements on the PA system. And that's how we learned. Of course, everybody was excited. It was excitement, of course, because they were anxious to know that schools would be open, because they knew that this was just a unique year, a 1 year affair. I don't remember anything. I think they just were happy that the schools had reopened, and they didn't care who worked with them. But as I said, that year, that group just got them ready to move on to the next level, to the regular public school. That was a year in transition. So it was a beautiful year and a wonderful experience for them. I got a chance to see him. I was so sorry I couldn't touch him. I didn't get to shake his hand, but I saw him and his wife. And I do have a picture of them in my photograph album at home. But people were standing up and they were crowded. Everybody wanted to see him, get close to him. But he came and spoke. I was in the auditorium, of course. Everybody was so excited because we knew the role that he played in helping to reopen the schools. No. I think that from what I remember, Dr. Sullivan got all of that. I don't remember anybody else experiencing anything. They were out to get him. I was glad they didn't really get him, but that was their purpose. They didn't want him down here. I was one of the sponsors, class sponsors, and I had to help arrange for the kids to get their caps and gowns. And I had 2 students who worked so well with me. The sponsor did too, the other sponsor. The girl, you saw her name in there, Grace Poindexter. And incidentally, she's a teacher, and I said it would have been nice if she's a retired teacher now. It would be nice if somebody could have had her or have her sometimes to come, and because she goes around and speaks about the free schools. But she was like, I call her my right hand, and Roger Madison was my left hand, because they helped to do everything, helped arrange all made all the arrangements for the graduation. Oh, of course, everybody was. Well, the class itself was so proud that they were able to come back and graduate from their high school. Of course, a lot of them had been away to other places. Some went to Ferrum Junior College in North Carolina, and some had gone out of the county to adjoining counties and stayed with relatives and friends. And then some just would sneak across the line to Appomattox, I think. They would get crouched down in the car until they got to Appomattox, and their parents would pick them up at the border and at the line, the county line, and it was just so exciting for them to be able to come back home and graduate from their high school. Well, with Dick and Morris's father was so interested in integration and doing what was right, and he was along with Professor, and of course, in their household, they were very open-minded people. And Dickens just made his own decision, I think, to come, but he was way ahead of the regular students who had been out of school. But that's what he wanted to do. So, but he's very quiet, very cooperative, and you'll see his picture in the yearbook. He was on the yearbook staff and friendly with some of his classmates. Just one of the most wonderful years of my life, and it's a year that I always cherish and remember because it meant so much to the students.